Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing super good. Thanks for coming on, Melody. I know it's really early for you.
I'm so glad you're saying that. I'm not even going to go how early it is, but yes, it is. It's 9 where you are, and I just want to thank everybody who is tuning in, whether you're from the Facebook community, from Twitter, from YouTube. We are so glad you are here. This is our first show, our first coffee time together.
For 2020.
Well,
Yes.
2021. Did you say 2020?
No.
Oh.
I have not actually been
Those are fighting words.
putting the right date yet. It's only 2 weeks into it.
You know what? I haven't missed. I have also gotten used to writing 21 on the date very quickly. Like usually it takes me a lot of mess ups, but not this year. Like I was very prepared to do 21, and yeah, no looking back. And you're right. We actually at the very beginning of the pandemic, when it was still kind of exciting that we couldn't go anywhere for a while, we joined coffee, and that's how this kind of it kind of began. But we haven't had a lot of time together because you've been busy teaching, like and you moving. Your life has been completely uprooted.
Yep.
Cross country. Yeah, and look at you. You're doing so great.
Right? I am doing so great because this is what I'm living for right now. So I've got my fire. What else do I need? So where I lived in California, we had a lot of smog and things coming in from the Bay Area. We were in a valley, and so the air quality wasn't great. So you were literally not allowed to have a house. You can't sell a house or buy one that has a fireplace. So since I bought my house after that rule went in place, there's like big holes in the wall where there was a fireplace. But I've had no fireplace for over 16 years. So I'm just now taking like full advantage. You have no idea how happy I'm.
I know that just blows my mind that you could not have a fireplace in your home. And I mean, I was telling you before we went on that we had a fireplace where we lived in Texas for 10 years. We had a magnificent fireplace and we took pictures by it. We never used it.
Well, I use it every day, all day. Well, when I'm home, which is not, I work. So, but when I'm home.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. That's awesome. All right. Well, so we were going to have 2 guests come up today, but one of our guests, Amanda Fox, we're going to have to reschedule because she had some unforeseen things happen. And Amanda, if you're watching, we hope that everything works out for you, and we'll see you again soon. But tell us about our guest who's coming, Mr. Jon Neale.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I met Jon in London several years ago at the BET conference, and we just really hit it off. He does so many innovative and cool things, and he's actually now done a shift in his career to what I think is a really exciting product that everyone would be really excited about. And so, just invited him on to come chat about what he's doing in his life, what kind of ways that he's passionate about education, and then share about. Well, I'll let him tell you what it is. So,
all right. Well, let's bring up this wonderful, magnificent, amazing Mr. Jon Neale. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you both. It's lovely to be here with you on a bright afternoon in sunny Southampton.
Excellent. The sun's starting to come up where I'm at. I'm sure Melody will never have the sun come up today.
It's completely dark for many hours still here in Alaska. Very dark. Yes. Okay. So Jon, so you're in the UK. Alice is in Kansas, and I'm in Alaska. I just think that is so cool. If you are watching, let us know where you're coming in. We'd love to hear from you and tell us what you're drinking. Jon, what are you drinking this morning or this afternoon where you are?
I am drinking a cup of tea. I haven't got any biscuits with me, otherwise I would show you those, and everyone would laugh about me calling them biscuits and not cookies. So yeah. So I'm British with the tea, but sadly, biscuitless today.
So, what is it?
Pardon?
What kind of tea is it?
Oh, it's super boring. It's just a breakfast tea. It isn't kind of like a fancy one, unfortunately. But I do my best.
Have you ever had the throat coat tea? Maybe I gave it to you when I was up there.
Do you know what? That does ring a bell, Alice. You were giving around a few potions, I think, that were kind of designed to And I think actually that Rachel at one point was really struggling with her voice, Rachel Kothup, and you gave it to her, and it was a godsend. So on behalf of Rachel, thank you.
Yeah, so anyone listening,
Wow.
in herbal tea that it tastes like Christmas. It's super lovely. And one of these days, John and I will come on and we will drink it together.
Oh, yes, tea is marvelous. And I like that coffee. Hey, everybody that's joining. Oh, I love seeing everybody. We have another. Oh my gosh, look at all these people. Yes. Hey, Donna. So cool. All right. Well, John, tell us. Oh, do you put cream in your do you put cream in your tea, John?
Just milk. Just milk. It's a very standard, very standard tea. This isn't kind of my tea conversation is limited, unfortunately, Melody. But you know.
Oh, you're just the real thing. Like, it's not limited. It's just real with you. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, from the Middle East. This is so wonderful. We are global today. It's nice to see everybody. But yeah, go ahead and tell us. So, and you have a guest blog that we published yesterday on the Alice Keeler blog. I say we. I remember sharing it in the community. And so I read a little bit about Moat. It's pretty cool. So tell us a little, and tell me when you want to share the screen, and let's have it. Let's share.
Yeah, sure. So if I just give you some introduction. So I've been a teacher for 16 years. The last 6 or 7 of which I've really focused on using EdTech to support colleagues, both within my own school and outside. And one of the opportunities I have to sort of to share most widely is at the BET and EST conferences, but really enjoy learning and sharing with lots of other people all over the world through, mainly for me, it's Twitter. So yeah, it's kind of like always learning, always trying to find different ways to improve learning journeys for up to now. It's been for students and colleagues in my own school, but going forward, as you say, I'm going to be joining the team at Moat. Super excited about that. And I can give a quick demonstration just to show you exactly how the tool works, if now's a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It is.
Okay, so just to give a bit of background into Moat, Moat uses voice and voice notes to try to transform learning, to try to save time for educators, and to try to make feedback a little bit more personal, just to make sure that when comments are left as text, that you kind of avoid that potential for misunderstanding. So you can hear the intonation in your teacher's voice. And also, if a student has the extension installed, then they can also go ahead and respond with their voice too. So I'm going to jump into a traditional, this is, I'm sure, a super familiar thing to lots of people. This is Google Classroom's grading workflow. So in this particular assignment, I'm the teacher, and one of my students, Michael Scott, has turned in this slide deck. And I'd like to leave him a comment. So I'm going to just tap on Michael Jordan here, and I'm going to start to leave my comment. And you'll notice now that when I get the comment box pop up, that it doesn't only allow me to leave the traditional text, but I've also got this Moat icon to the right-hand side. And if I go ahead and tap on this, then straight away, it's going to start to capture my voice. Hi, Michael. This is really great work. I can't wait to see how this particular piece of work develops. I tap again on the icon, and I can go to comment just straight away. So this is like Moat at its most basic form. And you'll see that it doesn't only allow the audio to be accessed by the student, but it gives them this clickable card that is right there from within. In this case, it's a slide deck, but it also works just as well in Google Docs and in Google Sheets. So let's say that I wanted to add another layer on. I'm actually, you won't be able to see this because I'm just sharing a tab, but I'm going to turn on transcription. I'm going to turn the transcription on. And this time when I talk, it's not only going to share the audio with my student, but it's also going to give them a text transcript. So here we go. And I'm going to jump into private comments. Private comments is actually one of the more popular ways that we are seeing Moatage being used across the world. So here we go. Hi, Michael. Really impressed with your work. Please, could you look at the feedback, and maybe before next lesson, just send me a quick message to make sure that you've understood it. This time, what I'm going to do before I post that back, because I had transcription turned on, I'm just going to tap on the pencil tool down here. That's going to open up a little pop-up window for me. Really important. I'm going to mute it just to avoid feedback. And you can see that it's given a transcript which is pretty accurate. So it actually uses, please take a look. And I'm just going to, so if it was in a context of a normal lesson, then I would obviously spend a little bit more time correcting the text. It does use Google's own voice to text, so it should be super reliable. We are finding that in a quiet space or with a microphone, that it is more and more accurate. So yeah, so this is what I would do, and I can then save it, and I can exit just out of this note here, and I can go back and post it. And the benefit of this is now not only accessible when a student clicks in to look at their assignment, but if I jump back into the classroom view, then you'd be able to see it there as well. I'm actually probably going to have to share my screen in a slightly different way. Is it okay if I just quickly just hop out of this? I'm going to share the whole screen.
Yeah, let me share. Oh, there you go. You did it just great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Okay. Just whilst I'm setting that up, do you have any questions on where I've got to now?
Yeah, a couple of people have asked. Is it free? Like, is it paid? What, where is it going? Somebody said there's a paid version, but it's cheap.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So there is a free tier, there's an essentials tier, and there's an unlimited tier. With the free tier, you get currently have unlimited voice notes up to 30 seconds. With the essentials tier, you get unlimited voice notes up to 90 seconds. And with the unlimited tier, you get all of that, but you also have access to transcription, to translation. So any of these voice notes could be translated. And you can also have STEM mode, which is just what I'm about to share with you now. So I'm going to share my screen in a slightly different way here. Just to make sure. Okay.
We do have a lot of comments that came in, John. I just want you to know that people are interested. But you answered like everything. Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Mel, I don't know if Mel was really excited that you are here. I don't know if you know Mel, but not this Mel. I mean, I'm excited that you're here, but it's a different Mel is what I mean.
I am excited for all the Mels that are here. So hello, everyone called Mel, and I can see lots of comments coming through as well. So there we go. Yeah. So so I'm happy to continue with a demonstration. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I've got something called STEM mode turned on. To adjust the features that you have turned on in Moat, you just need to tap on the extension in the top right-hand corner of your browser. I'm going to go to Settings and Help, and you'll notice, because it's a pop-up, you can't quite see. But I'm making sure that I've got the STEM mode toggled on. And this time, so this is just a Google Doc. I don't have to do anything fancy. So when I start speaking any sort of mathematical equation, it's going to hear it and it's going to translate that into the appropriate notation. So this is how it works. So just the same as before, and the same as if you're dropping a comment in anywhere, is I'm going to just go to tap on the Moat button. Please could you take another look at 8x squared minus 7 equals 0. I've tapped again on the icon just to stop it. And this time I'm just going to check the transcription. And you'll see that what it's done is that it's taken the words as I was speaking, and it has taken that perfectly. So you can see that it's got 8x squared minus 7 equals 0. Just like before, if you need to edit the way that it's come out, no problem. I can just tap on that and I can change the way here in the editor.
Is that latex? I mean, are you able to put in latex if it's not exactly the way you wanted it?
You are, Anis. Yeah, you are. If you want to find out more about STEM mode in particular, the CEO of Moat has done a wonderful blog post on it, so I would thoroughly recommend that. Okay, so I'm going to exit that and I'm going to go back.
I'm going to share a comment really quick. Mel says, I say X squared doodad and it automatically does it.
There you go. Yeah. X squared doodad. Yeah.
So Pierce says, as a school IT administrator, I am reticent about having staff get in the habit of installing third-party extensions. They can be sold to bad actors. What are Moat's privacy guarantees? Oh my, hello. And I'm going to switch us
question. That's a really important question as well, and I'm glad that that's been asked. Probably haven't got time to go into all of the kind of privacy things now, but if you go onto the Moat website, then you'd be able to see all of that. If you scroll down to the bottom, then you can read all about the privacy policy. If you have any further questions, we've got a small team, but we're really, really active. So if you have any questions and you want there to be any follow-up, then we'd be more than happy to field any of those. Okay.
Great answer.
Okay. So there's another thing that I'll just demonstrate here back into Google Classroom, and this is something called Notebook. So if like me, you found yourself leaving similar comments for different students and across assignments, you can actually save your notes to your own personalized notebook, and you can reuse those across. So if I go back here, so let's say that I'm going to go back to Michael Scott's work, and I'm just going to say, I have to think about what I'm going to say first. Okay, and I'm going to turn the and just for now, I'm going to turn the transcription off. Okay, so here we go.
Tell him he's the very best boss in the whole world.
You are the very best boss in the whole world, and I love your mug. Okay, so I would then go on to that, and I'm going to edit the transcript. So you'll see this is very familiar to before, but this time I'm not just going to exit. I'm going to go to save as, and this is where you open up your notebooks. I'm just going to call this, and I'm going to call it best boss. Okay. If I save that, I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to share that comment with Michael. Now, this is where the kind of magic and the time saving really comes in for teachers. If I go to another student in my class, surprise, surprise, this person's name is Dwight, I can access my notebook by long pressing on the icons. If I long press,
okay.
What I get is I get all of my previous notes that I've saved to my notebook. I can find the best boss one, and I can click on that, and that would now be just there for me to share with this student. So saves lots and lots of time. Okay.
We have a question. So Shannon's in Illinois, and everything has to be SOPA compliant. I'm sorry, SOPPA compliant starting in July. Do you know if Moat will be that?
I am absolutely certain that Moat will be putting all of their efforts into making sure that we are ticking all the boxes of compliance, both here in the UK and in the US as well. But as I say, Shannon, if you did have any questions, please just send those through, and we will field those as a team. And we take pride in responding as quickly as we can to these messages. So that's another really important question. And I would just give the reassurance that we are aware of the kind of different needs for educators all over the world, and we're doing our absolute best to take care of those. Okay.
And John, really quick, where can they go to ask these questions?
So if you go to the support page on justmoat.me, so justmoat.me, then you will find that lots of the questions are answered there for you. If they aren't, then there's a link where you can email the team, and the team very quickly will be able to respond to those messages for you. Okay. Pleasure,
cool.
Shannon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So now moving on to what I think is a game changer for teachers. I can remember first demonstrating when Google Slides launched the possibility to insert an audio file. This was back at EST 2019. Hello to anyone that was there. But there hasn't ever been a really efficient workaround for this. You've had to kind of save the file, upload it to your drive, and put it in a different way. This week, we launched Moat for Slides, and it has been met with a hugely wonderful reception all over the place. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to use here. So I'm in a slide deck, one that I knocked up this morning, so Coffee with Alice. And you may notice that I'm actually now in my slide deck. I've got this Moat icon that appears just above the slide deck that I'm speaking to. When I tap on the Moat icon, I get a pop-up in the middle of my screen. And then all I need to do to start recording is to just follow the lead here. So it's a real pleasure to be here with Melody and Alice on a Saturday afternoon, drinking my tea. Click on that. It will take a few seconds just to think about it. I can play it back. I can rewind it. Or if I want to start again, no problem. I can just click on the bin over there on the right-hand side, and it will delete it, and I can start over. I'm going to go to Insert, and you'll notice that auto magically, as it says there. So what's happening in the background is that audio file is being put into my Google Drive, and it's then being pushed out right on top of the slide deck. And now it's here, and I can resize it. I can move it around wherever I want. And what
nice.
And yeah, and if you haven't used Google Slides before, there's a real beauty of this is that anyone that I share this slide deck with, so either as an editor or to view, or even in present mode, they won't have to have the extension installed to get the same experience as me. Oh. This audio file is going to play from within the slide deck. So it's a Sorry, Alice.
We have
I
some
think
questions coming in.
Sure, go ahead.
Sure. Danielle wants to know, are private chats available if not using Google Classroom on a collaborative slides?
Our private chats. So that's a question which I think is that outside of Moat. I think that's just a general question. And yeah, so you can
probably just an Alice.
Yeah, go ahead, Alice.
Extension that, or no, John. So is that an extension that allows you to scroll text on the screen? Does this have anything to do with Moat?
No, this is the StreamYard. She wants to know how you're putting the ticker at the bottom.
Oh,
Melody and I
wow.
To broadcast live. So this is just a built-in feature.
Yeah, StreamYard is a great tool, by the way. It's a great tool.
Yeah, I can tell you all about it if you want.
yeah, it isn't Moat. This is StreamYard. It's another great tool. So I can see a question there that's come in from Kristen about the kids don't need to have the extension. So Kristen, again, that's another really good question, really common question. The simple answer is no, they don't. They are within Google Classroom or Google Docs, for example, they are able to hear the comment, but it would play in a separate tab if they don't have the extension installed, and they'd get the same functionality if they were, for example, accessing through a phone or through a tablet device. If, however, they were using a Chrome browser, they would get the best experience if they did have the Moat extension installed. And then they would just be able to tap where it's got the little pop-up card from the teacher, and the audio would just play there for them.
Do you know of any reason why the IT person should not push out the Chrome extension to all the kids' Chromebooks?
No, I would certainly not say that for Moat. There is a slightly different sign-in process, and they would just, and it would be indicating that that they're a minor, and then they would just go in, and they have a slightly different experience in terms of their own creation. They, for example, wouldn't have this activity dashboard, which is the next thing that I was going to share, but they are able to engage with their teachers. So in terms of accessibility, it's a really big win. It's going to save time for teachers. But for students, you know, we all know there are students that for lots of different reasons really benefit from having methods at their disposal outside of just typing lots of text. So we're really happy to be offering alternatives to that.
And so, John, is this a part of the free version?
What I'm sharing you now?
Yeah, everything that you're sharing, is that a part of
great. So what I'm sharing with you now is the activity dashboard. So the way the activity dashboard works, and it has changed quite a lot. So if the last time that you logged into it was a couple of months ago, you might see see a couple of changes here. But it's really useful. So you can see all of your notes or your voice notes here. You can see the context of where they were left. And I won't do it now, but if I were to click on one of these and it would take me back to the place that it was left, you will notice that these are ones that I just left. And you can see whether, so up here in the top right-hand corner, you can see that we've used a little bit of a pun there, but you can see whether the audio file has been noticed or they remain unnoticed, i.e., have they been listened to or have they not? And as an additional piece of use is that students are also able to indicate to the teacher with a couple of emojis whether they have actually listened to the feedback and actually whether they've understood it. So it's super useful. And if you want to, then you can click on the download, and you can from there you are able to just save the audio file should you want to use it somewhere else. Okay.
And Shannon wants to know, can this be done, the Google Slides piece, can this be done in the free version? What about the STEM?
So the Google Slides piece, yes, it can. And we'd love to know how you get on with using that, Shannon. STEM mode. So STEM mode is part of the unlimited version. So everyone that signs up to Moat gets their first month free of unlimited. But then after that, it does. You actually can only get the functionality in the unlimited version.
Wow, that's great.
I'm looking at the questions too.
I love it. I'm sorry, and I'm not fully developed yet, but that's really great. So how did you stumble into this? Because you're in the classroom. So what, like how did you find out?
Yeah, precisely. So I guess it would be in a similar way to Alice and yourself, and obviously everyone that's joining us today would actually find tools. Like I find that, that for example, Twitter for me, is such a place of people sharing so generously anything that they find. I think if you have a particular interest, so at the time I was looking for ways that I could help my colleagues streamline their feedback workflow. So this is back in April of 2020. And I knew that there were lots of people spending lots and lots of time typing up feedback. They weren't even sure it was being understood or received or listened to. So I was trying to find an alternative tool. Fortunately for me, and fortunately for teachers, is that Moat just so happened to launch in March of 2020. So it was a very new product at the time. But yeah, I tried it, I gave it a go, and then shared it. Actually, there was an EdTech demo slam that was in April of 2020, and it went down really well. And yeah, and it's kind of like from there have been lots of features being introduced, Melody, but they've all been as a response to what teachers have actually said is a need. So for example, audio going into slides, the way that there's been a development of STEM mode, being able to use Moats across assignments through the Moat book. And there's also something I should say. So something that's come out relatively recently is something called the Notepad. Notepad allows you to let's just say there was a assignment in which rather than submitting a Google Doc, you wanted someone to share a website or an external link. Notepad allows you to actually record your notes anywhere on the internet. You haven't got to be tied to Google's ecosystem, which is super useful.
Right, that is cool. I agree, Alice. I am loving all the Moat puns too.
I might have just been typing about how much I like your Moat puns, and then I missed completely what the Notepad was. Can you say it again?
Well, I've got loads, Alice. You know, I'm always trying to make the moat of things. You know, I think that that's important. It has been.
Oh my God! I almost spit on the computer.
This is like Mike Lawrence with his Q references.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. What does it do?
My cat distracted
Okay, and then we
me.
have another question. Oh, okay. Oh, wait.
Answer mine first.
Okay. Let's do that. Okay, what does Notepad do again? And then we'll get to Pierre's question.
Yeah, so I can actually. Do you know what I can do? If you're able to share to actually take this screen away from the stream, Melody, and I'll share my entire computer screen, so it won't be the window because it actually appears as a pop-up, which isn't visible within StreamYard. So I'll just do that one more time. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
And some of the questions coming in are beautiful, by the way. They're really, really good. So let me just jump here and.
Okay. Oh, you're going to actually show us the Notepad.
No, I'm going to show. Yes, I'm going to show my entire screen, including Notepad. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So now we're ready to go. Okay. So I'm going to go back onto like a less crazy slide. So let's say that I was looking at a website. Let's go to BBC Sport. And so this isn't part of Google, but right up here, so I still have my Moat extension icon. If, by the way, you see that the Moat icon isn't here, if you tap on the jigsaw piece, just make sure that you have it pinned and then it'll be visible. So to access Notepad, I just click once here, and then I get a drop down, which is going to actually then pop up all these options for me. But the top one is brilliant. So I can, just by tapping here where it says record a voice note. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying a wonderful Saturday. That would be copied to the clipboard, and I could put that wherever I want. For example, if I wanted to go back to Google Classroom and I wanted to leave my class a class comment, this would be this is the voice note that I just left from that BBC Sports site. So here we are. I can drop this in. And you'll see that it's converted that also to a clickable card. Really useful addition to the suite of services provided.
I love that you said that. It's really useful. It makes me think of Thomas the Tank Engine. Very useful. My sons love that show.
A very useful engine. A very useful engine.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. And now Pierce says, my cat distracted me when you were at a voice track to a slide. Did you say that track would actually be embedded in the slide? Did you answer this already? I apologize. And would be shared and listenable. Okay.
Effectively, yeah. So it's when you have an audio file, it's much the same as if you add a video file to a Google slide deck. The audio file sits within the slide itself. So anyone that you give access to the file would then be able to click on this. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, and Mel and Piers are so excited. Thank you for sharing.
We're all very excited. It's a very exciting afternoon or morning in your case.
So I've been wondering why you've been ignoring me, but apparently I muted I muted myself. I wouldn't hear the key. So Melody, I know you love it when I use jargon, and so I'm going to throw out MP3. And so knowing that, I think a lot of people, maybe they don't know what an MP3 is, or even if you do, like, how the heck do you make one? How do you save it and get it into a Google Slides? That's like a lot of steps. So Moat has just like who cares what that is? Don't worry about it. All those things I just said, because I know Melody's right. Like, what are you talking about? Now you don't have to. So the Moat's just going to do that automatically. So my previous workflows, I had to figure out how to record an MP3 file that's an audio file, how to get it someplace that's in Google Drive, how to make sure that the sharing settings on that MP3 file were shareable, which is obviously very easy to overlook. And then you got to go to the insert menu, insert audio, and do all those. So it's a lot of steps. And Moat just says, hey, don't worry about that. Is that what I heard you say?
That is exactly what you heard me say. That was so beautifully put, Alice. I'm actually going to write all that down. I'm going to use it myself in the future. So thank you for that.
Yeah, so I've been doing some webinar workshops with people showing them how to use Screencastify, which I really love because Screencastify will allow me to extract out my voice into that MP3 file. But then I'm really down that same rabbit hole of steps, and it's been really popular. People are super excited. So if I could just give a use case.
Yeah, no, perfect. Thank you. That was really useful for me as well to hear that.
Especially that we are remote, and I want to get my voice and be more dynamic with students. You can create a Google Slides where it has the content you want, so you have that visual piece, but then to add your voice to it is such a big deal. I really think so. And so you get the icon for the audio in there, which I saw that Moat just drops the same icon except it's purple, which is, I love purple, so it's great. And in the sidebar, when you click on that audio icon, it allows you to choose to play automatically. So one option, the default option is it has to be clicked on in order to play the audio, but you can actually have it play automatically. And then, John, since you have your screen share up there, would you mind going to the file menu and choose Publish to the Web?
Yeah, sure.
And so this is the key. So if we could just pause on that for a second. Go back. No, go back. Pause on it.
Alice. Okay. I'm so excited. I know. I can hardly control myself. So
just pause on this for a second so people can see. You go to the file menu and you do Publish to the Web. So if your audio file is set to autoplay, then when you do the Publish to the Web, okay, click on it.
I haven't actually set it to autoplay. I've left it on the click, but
that's right. Just it's fine. So then click Publish. You don't have to check any of the checkboxes, but this link that it creates your Google Slides in presentation mode. And if your audio files from Moat are set to autoplay, then they're going to immediately hear that sound. Now, one of the things that I like to do is set it on repeat. So it's going to say it, it's going to say it again, it's going to say it again. So this wonderful woman, Marianne, she teaches Spanish. And so she's doing the conversation in Spanish and pauses and what the response would be, and then it loops so the kids can hear that really rich conversation, the tones, and by listening to it over and over. I mean, it's so cool, but I showed her how to go to do these 5 million steps. So I'm going to message her right after this and be like, hey, here's a quicker way to do this. But I think you're really going to enjoy the ability to publish to the web with your Moats in there.
And that's such an awesome use case as well. Wow, that sounds great for her.
Yeah, I want to hear I was going to say I want to hear what it says. I can't remember, but it's all good. Don't worry.
I can go ahead and change it. I'm actually not sharing the audio from, but yeah.
Okay, and I don't know but Shannon says when you use this on a website, does the link to the site go with it? Could you give directions to the link included? Did you just do that? Was that what we just did?
That was how we went through the publish step. So yeah, so I've got obviously the format options will appear as soon as you insert your audio. And then as Alice was saying, that was such a good idea. You can go over here. I don't know if you can see too clearly, but I can loop the audio. And then I can jump back up here. And this is how I did it, just by going through File, Publish to the Web. I think it's slightly hidden by the text box, but yeah, there we go. So File, Publish to the Web. And then I think that's such a good example to use. And now that's just going to go ahead and loop for, in that case, it was the student, but for anyone that had access to the file. So yeah, thank you.
So cool. And is this part of, Shannon also wants to know if this is part of the free version?
It is, yeah. And I can see she's also asked, is it part of the, is Notepad? Yes, it is as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Thank
Great,
you so
wonderful.
much. These
That is
questions are wonderful, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Pierce says, I use this for looping new event presentations on the display in our school's entranceway. Oh, that's cool. That's
a great idea.
Really cool. Yeah. I like Pierre's enthusiasm. Also, Shannon, thank you so much. Like she's going to be a Moat user, I can tell.
I hope so. I hope everyone is, Melody. I hope I hope that's the thing. We'll all be moating all over the place. It's there's a lot of motivation. I should say I can see. So
yeah. Motivation.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I actually think as well. I think that whilst it is a tool for not only in times of virtual learning, but when we go back as well for lots of different reasons, I do like one thing, which is to say that that teachers all over the world are putting the Moat into remote learning. So there you go.
That is something.
Thank you, Melody. One does one's best.
Right. And now I'm wondering, like, how did this name even happen? Like, it's just, that's awesome. I love it. Motivation. Yes. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have questions for Jon, we have them for a few more minutes. I mean, I want to honor your time. I can stay here for a while. I've got nowhere to go, but let's have your questions. My kids are still sleeping. So if you have questions for Jon and Moat, feel free to ask them. Thank you for your enthusiasm. And yeah, do you want me to stop sharing for a minute and we can talk again?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. I think we covered everything that we were hoping to there. So thank you for that.
So Jon, why don't you share a little about what you are doing this weekend?
This weekend, wow. So I'm actually going to be clearing out this room behind me because we're in a situation where both of my boys are at home and my wife's working remotely too. So we're finding that, believe it or not, all of us working in the same space isn't working as beautifully as we were hoping. So so there are kind of one or two things that we're looking to tweak in terms of our family workflow. But yeah, they're actually at the park at the moment, so I'm missing out on going to the park. But hopefully, but we're actually quite limited on what it's possible for us to do at the moment because the UK is in lockdown. So we're allowed our kind of one trip for exercise. So they're on that at the moment. And we'll be doing a similar thing tomorrow, I'm sure. So a chance to go outside and play some football or something would be nice.
That would be nice.
What about yourself? What about yourself, Alice? Much planned?
I have work all day today, so I'm just going to sit here by my fire and do work because I apparently just have no life. I'm going to drink coffee.
There you go. Drinking coffee and sitting by the fire sounds great.
Probably going to do some coding.
And Melody, what about you?
I saw that. Yeah, you released a new YouTube this morning, Alice. Damn, girl, you're a machine. You know what? We're probably going to, when my kids wake up, we're going to go to Anchorage. We're going to get some donuts and we're just going to stay in the car. It's too cold to get out of the car. And, they probably won't bring their coats, even though I'll scream at them to bring their coats and their boots. But, we'll go get donuts and coffee. And then, who knows, maybe today we'll all get out and play in the snow. I mean, stranger things have happened. So, but wow. Yeah, no, but I mean, we don't go a lot of places right now but everybody's outside. We do need to go ice skating. I am so upset that we still haven't ice skated. There's a park near our home, and what they do is they have this like concrete like roundabout, and they cover it with water or whatever, and they make like a homemade little ice thing. Do you know what I'm talking about, Alice? And the schools do it too. You can go in parking lots.
But the question is, are they round?
It was round, yeah.
Round.
Oh. It was round. It was round, yes.
I'm on a rant.
Is it in a square place?
Book that said that there was a round ice skating rink and other inauthentic contexts. So this is my new joke about ice rinks being round because they're not. Just so everyone's clear, ice rinks are not round. But yeah, I grew up in Alaska where Melody is, and we would go ice skating during recess. And so they had the knot round out on the playground, and they would flood it, and we'd be able to go out there and ice skate during lunch.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. I wish, we were in public school right now and everything was open. Do I see moose a lot? Yeah, we have a berry tree in our front yard, so we get to see, we've had quite a few moose comings with mama moose and baby moose. And the neighbors are always really concerned. They really always watch out for our kids. So if our kids are playing outside, because we can actually do that here, we live in a really safe area. And they're always, they drive and they're like, tell our kids like, hey, go back in the garage, the moose are coming. Because sometimes they run really fast. But of course, you never want to get in the middle of a mama moose and a baby moose. And so we do have bears also, and we live right on a bluff. So our backyard, 20 yards in, then you have a bluff and then a river. So we do get a lot of wildlife. We get eagles. When we first moved here a couple of years ago, I could not believe that we were driving to Seward, and I looked out my window, and 10 feet, there was just, I don't know what you call a flock of bald eagles. Maybe it's a flock. They were right outside. We were walking up the street last spring, and there was an eagle just sitting in our neighbor's yard on the ground. It's incredible. And then, of course, last spring or summer, we saw our first grizzly bear not too far away from our house, kind of closer to the nature center. Because we do live outside of Anchorage, so we do get a lot of wildlife. But I mean, Anchorage gets a lot of wildlife. I mean, it's everywhere. And so we go to our favorite place. Is it okay that I'm talking about this?
Yeah, of course.
This lady,
fascinating.
Great. It was so exciting because we were at our favorite little place that we like to go to, and this lady, we were all outside of the car, and this lady comes up and she's like, I just saw a family of lynx just on the other side of this, just letting us know that, don't get eaten by lynx. I love how people take care of each other here. And then I'm like, let's get in the car. I want to go see that family. We didn't get to see them. So yes, 80s band Flock of Eagles. And I don't know, Kieran, if you know me, but I love 80s. So thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, Flock of Seagulls. Yes. Did you see this? As I went on and on, John, I didn't catch your association with Moat again because my cat keeps walking on my keyboard.
I did see that question. Yeah. So Piers, I'm currently still working 4 days a week at a school in central London. I've been there for 4.5 years as a digital lead. And in the middle of February, I'm going to be joining the team at Moat full time. So really excited to kind of transition from my role within a school to working with an edtech startup, but also hopefully actually working now with a wider network of educators than before. So yeah, a key part of my role is going to be looking to get insight and feedback and kind of doing just like I've done before, but specific to Moat in terms of demonstrations within Google.
Well, congratulations on your new position. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really, really excited for a new challenge. It's it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. And so Karen is asking about a design. I don't know if she's talking about StreamYard right now, but yes.
You go back in the comments. She is trying to figure out about where she would design Google Slides.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And it's things relating back to that.
I like that. And I like Danielle. I agree with Danielle. She says Canva. I use the background. I use Canva for everything. I know you like Slides Mania, but I love Canva. That's what the background is made on. I think every time I present in Canva, I always get, everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful presentation. So that's my recommendation. And you can get a free educator's account. Yeah.
And it's pretty cool as well. Like, I was just going to jump in there to say, like I'm a huge fan of slides. And actually, one of the big wins and quick wins that I often share with teachers is to just use the Explore tool. So if you've got kind of images and a text, and you're not sure how to make them look nice, if you just tap on Explore, then you'll be amazed at how many professional quality quality examples are going to pop up there for you. But I love Canva. I love Slides Mania, as you both mentioned.
Well, I'll give my slides tip if it's right. I have an obsession with doing a drop shadow. So I put text or pictures or anything in there. And then when you click on it in Slides, It says format options. Up at the top is usually the last icon. And in the format options is a sidebar that comes up that lets you add a drop shadow. And I just think it just makes all your stuff pop just a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do that. Just saying, that sounds really cool, but like, what? Karen, just go to canva.com and you probably have to use your school district email. And oh my gosh, Janet says a flock of eagles is called a flame. That's good to know.
That's good to know.
Good fact.
I was reading this week that the Tower of London has been missing a raven. Did you see that, John?
I didn't. I haven't caught that in the news, unfortunately.
You're all in peril because the article said that if you drop below 6 ravens, that the whole kingdom is supposed to fall, and now you have 7. But it had referenced in the article what a flock of ravens was called, and I don't remember what it was. But
wow, and I thought that 2020 and 2021 couldn't get any worse, and then I hear that there's a raven missing from the Tower of London. Goodness. So.
I'm like, is this for real? Like, are we talking about a bad
It sounds like it was. That's, yeah.
There's
wow.
Oh my gosh! Well, we'll pray for the ravens. Well, yes, everybody, thank you so much for joining. So we're actually going to make this a regular thing, right, Alice? Like, I'm going to be getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can join you for coffee.
Before we end, I just wanted to remind you that I'd like to share me and John's inside joke.
Go ahead.
So our inside joke is that John apologizes for everything.
I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just what I do, Alice. It's a British thing. It's a British thing. You say sorry when, I've got to be honest, there are sometimes when you don't mean sorry, but it's like an instinct. It's a neat, it's one of those things that you just can't help. It's a knee-jerk response, to most things.
So I just wanted to introduce John, who says sorry for everything, to Melody, who wrote the I'm Sorry story, and I was hoping you had your book near you.
Yes. Wow. Thank you for the little plug. I know I cringe whenever people say sorry and they don't really mean it. So John, we're going to have to work on that. But I did write the sorry story.
Talk to my sister. So Melody, isn't your book it's in Spanish, the I'm Sorry story?
Okay, what did you just ask?
Wasn't your book just released in Spanish, the I'm Sorry story?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm so glad you're excited. Thank you, Alice. I love you. Thanks for supporting. Yes. So you can go to bit.ly.com/I'm Sorry story, all in low-cap. So we just released it in Spanish. I'm really excited. My friend and colleague Nicole Biscotti translated it. We published it through EduMatch Publishing. Check it out. If you want to know how to get the right kind of sorry in your life, then it's for you. But it's a great children's book. And actually, I'm just coming back up on my book birthday. It released right before the pandemic. So I'm going to have a great celebration in February. I hope we'll have a lot of read aloud. So if you're interested in that, find me on Twitter. I'll take off this banner really quick if you want to see. I'm MJ McCallie Writes, and I would love to do read alouds. I've been doing that all year. I've had actually international read alouds. So I've in Africa, Canada, all over the United States, and some in Europe. So thanks for the plug. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Yeah. Oh, Danielle says the girls love the book. Yes.
Sorry. Yes, Danielle. Book is awesome. Here's, I'm going to get another log on my fire. That's actually literally the next thing I'm going to do before I refill my coffee. And then Karen, we are both having fun and we're answering questions, but we are also just wrapping this up. So we will be here next week, and we would love to answer your questions next week also.
Yes, and we will be here same time. So Eastern, 10 a.m. If you're in the UK, it'll be in the afternoon. And if you're in Alaska, 6 a.m. We'll be here.
Yeah, that's a dedication.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.